CCTV footages recorded in the vicinity responsible for the placement of a homemade pipe bomb in the said location. The suspect has been identified as suspect Abel Macaraya, shown here on the video. As earlier announced, there was an incident that happened on April 27 involving a minor wherein certain personalities, the Kahulugan Group, sige, mamaya nyo na-play para hindi mag-distract. So, Kahulugan Group, brothers and another person maltreated and abused the minor. I think he was bodily harmed, and because of this, the family of the minor, the Dianca family, vowed to exact revenge and against the perpetrators. So, as mentioned earlier, the motive is to avenge the maltreatment of their younger brother. So here, the suspect is the brother-in-law of that minor. He is married to his sister. When the incident happened, the suspect, shown in this video footage, reported together with the members of the family to the barangay the incident. That's why we were able to get hold of that information. Sige, shown with him is another person of interest. Please play the video for the benefit of our members of the media. Another person of interest, a certain Ali Moro, also an associate of their family. This was the night prior to the explosion. So, together with his sister, who's not shown here, they went to the barangay to file a complaint and proceed to the Barbosa Police Station to initiate criminal charges against the suspects Kahulugan. Okay? The next evidence we have showing the possible involvement of the suspect is at the night of the explosion. As you can see, the explosion took place along the sidewalk traversing Quezon Boulevard near the corner of Soler Street. There is another suspect identified as Raymond Mendoza, a close friend of Abel and said to be the boyfriend of his sister-in-law, also the sister of the minor, Pada Dianca, who was seen here and also as described by witnesses placing a suspicious package where the site of explosion took place. Can you please play the video? So this is at the night of the bombing, of the explosion that happened on 10:12 p.m. So for the information of our friends in the media, aside from these CCTV recordings, we have gathered statements also from eyewitnesses' account, including some of the members who were injured or the victims who were injured during the explosion. So based on that description, initially provided by these witnesses, okay, we had computerized facial composite sketches. Initially at that time, we were not yet aware of the identity of Abel Macaraya and Raymond Mendoza, and also his companion, a certain Ali Moro. So we, based on descriptions provided by witnesses, we followed up on this lead. So we recovered CCTV footages in the area, gathered statements of the witnesses, including the victims. Sige, patuloy, pakita natin yung slide pa rin. And based on this description, we were able to ascertain the identity of Abel Macaraya. So this is the composite sketch as described by eyewitnesses on the area at the time of the explosion. Ito, sige. And his companion, si Ali Moro. Ito, siya yan. Makikita sa screen. Sige, next slide please. Okay, shown to you is his companion, si Ali Moro, the one wearing the cap, who was also seen at the time of immediately before the explosion, fleeing the area when the bomb detonated. Sige, please show the next slide. Oh, yung CCTV footage ulit. Balik tayo. nung actual explosion. Sige. Initially, we were able to talk with Abel Macaraya during the investigation of the complaint for child abuse against his brother-in-law. During that interview, he denied being present in that location, saying that he was nowhere near the site of explosion, as claimed by him before the police investigators and in the barangay hall. But CCTV recordings to be shown now. Sige, next CCTV recording, please. Sige. Next CCTV recording, we can see the suspect, Abel Macaraya, here, fleeing the scene of the crime after the explosion. So, pauna lang natin para makita nyo siya. So, aside from eyewitnesses accounts, we have a CCTV recording establishing his presence in the area. So, that was seen. Sige, pakita natin yung next CCTV recordings. And also, this is his companion, si Alimoro. So, pakita natin to. Dito makikita yung blast. Sige, so as you can see that the explosion happened at about 10:12, about 32 yata o 30 seconds. Sasabog yung bomba. Ito si suspect, Alimoro, walking casually when the bomb exploded from the crime scene. Sige, next slide please. That was him. So walking unconcerned as if nothing happened. With the immediate explosion of the bomb, which is only about 20 meters away from that distance where the bomb exploded. Again. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, this is part of our investigation, the seat of explosion, which will explain why there were a number of casualties, a large number of casualties. The bomb was placed near the pillar or the pole along the sidewalk, near a table leading to a esquinita. So this is the relative position of the bomb, and pakita natin yung positions ng victims. Kung nasa saan sila. So this is, yan muna, yung picture muna. Dito yung picture ng site of the explosion. I'm sure some members of the media were able to record this already. Sige, please continue. Diyan po nangyari, dito sa May Soler corner, Quezon Boulevard. Sige, next. And we were able to establish the relative positions of the 13 victims during that explosion based on the testimonies provided by them. Of the 13 victims, we have 3 who suffered serious injuries resulting to amputations and also to major surgery. Si victim number 8, si Ruiz Convito, please show him kung nasan siya nung sumabog. So nandun siya near the pole or near the pillar of explosion, the seat of explosion, nandun si number 8. So si Luis Convito, he remains to be confined in the hospital. I understand that his right leg was amputated from the knees down. Sige, pakita mo yung picture ni pakita lang natin yung yung details. Oh, yan. So, and also number 11, si Ramon Carlos. Yan. He was near also the seat of explosion, just about a foot or two feet away from that. Still confined. His leg was also amputated. And then si number 12 also nandun din sa seat of explosion, where he suffered major injuries on his lower extremities and the back portion, requiring major surgery. So all of the victims have been accounted for. At present, out of the 13, 5 remains in the hospital undergoing treatment as of this time. Sige, next slide please. And object evidence recovered from the crime scene is the remnants or fragments of the type of the bomb used. So the bomb was concealed in a black eco bag, in the one we used when going to grocery stores or shopping areas. It was concealed inside a black eco bag, and the same was placed near that pillar where the explosion took place. Again, recovered from the crime scene are fragments of the pipe, the GI pipe, galvanized iron pipe, wherein the explosive materials and content were placed by the person who assembled it. And ito yung mga na-recover sa crime scenes. Again, show. So other recoveries, the pipe bomb was detonated electrically through the use of battery with a timer. I understand from the video shown earlier, it was about 30 to 40 seconds, no? Tama, EOD, Chief EOD. They had 40 seconds at the most to place the bomb and immediately vacate the incident, as shown in the video earlier. And then, sige, next slide please. So inside the pipe bomb were, ano tawag doon? Nuts, or bolts and nuts, yung ginagamit to enhance and create a further damage. So clearly the intent was to inflict death or injury, in which case 13 persons or victims were injured. Next slide please. And I'll be showing to you yung possible model or replica or reconstruction of the pipe bomb that was used based on the evidence recovered. So galit po yung ginamit na pasabog. As earlier announced, it is an improvised homemade pipe bomb. The explosives used based on the examination revealed by the crime laboratory is nitrocellulose, which is common in gunpowder or yung the one used in shotgun shells, or in cartridges for firearms. Tama ko, no? Tama? Okay. So ito po yung model pipe bomb. According to our EOD experts, all components of this particular homemade bomb are readily available and can be bought and procured in hardware stores or in even in the department store. So it can be easily assembled. In fact, as shown in the report, directions for creating or manufacturing such type of bomb can easily be downloaded in the internet. So ito po yung ginamit. Kaya po this is also para to inform the public to be, of course, extra cautious of suspicious packages and bags or other containers, and if they see something similar to what we're showing now, kindly report to the nearest police station, sir, or ma'am. Sige, thank you. Next slide, please. So ito po yung diagram as described by the EOD. Sige, next slide. Okay, balik tayo sa computerized facial sketch. So now, yung first sketch, we have in custody Abel Macaraya, who is now arrested, detained, and already been subjected to inquest proceedings for the crime of multiple frustrated murder and also a violation of the illegal possession of explosives law. So again, we have in custody Abel Macaraya, one of the principal suspects in the explosion last April 28, and a case for multiple frustrated murder and violation of illegal possession of explosives had been filed against him. And in an affidavit executed by Abel, he mentioned the involvement of Raymond Mendoza, tama, no? Raymond Mendoza, a certain Saro, and Ali Moro. So that's why, well, he presented himself also in part para to clarify his
At yan naman po ang isinasagawang press conference ngayon, dyan naman sa Manila Police District, kung saan ito nga po ang naging resulta ng kanilang investigasyon sa pagsabog noong April 28 sa May Quiapo, Maynila. Ang itinuturong dahilan ay ang revenge o paghihiganti ng isang ama para sa kanyang binugbog na anak noong namang April 26. 13 katao ang nasugatan at 3 naman ang malubha sa mga ito. Sa isang pahayag pa rin po kanina ni General Coronel, isang pipe bomb ang ginamit sa pagpapasabog sa Quiapo noon nga pong April 28.